Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
Hello and welcome to Incredible Journeys, Brands and Leaders. I'm Ridu Bhandari. This is our special series that puts the spotlight on some of India's most popular brands and brings you face to face with the leaders who are building them. Our first story today is of a company from Gurugram that was in fact the first MNC to begin relocation services in India over 2 decades ago. Let's take a look at this incredible journey of Interem Relocations that's today present in across 6 continents of the world and is servicing hundreds of Fortune 500 clients.
Founded in India in 1997, Interem Relocations is the first MNC in the Indian relocation industry. In an attempt to grow its presence across major geographies to offer customers a seamless relocation service, Interem has successfully extended its footprint in 60 countries across 6 continents over the years, making it one of the largest operators across the world, handling over 25,000 moves annually. Today, Interem has a continuing relationship with over 200 Fortune 500 companies worldwide by consistently offering high-quality services, local expertise and personal commitment.
And now to take us through the incredible journey of Interem Relocations, I'm joined by the company's CEO, Rahul Pillai. Rahul, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Let me begin by saying, of course, these are very, very unprecedented and challenging times. So I want to begin by asking you, how has COVID-19 really impacted business for you? And how challenging has it been to really maintain hygiene, sanitation, and safety of employees, because yours is a business that is people intensive, isn't it?
Thank you for calling us over and giving us this opportunity to present ourselves. As far as Interem Relocation is concerned, from the month of March till July, we haven't been doing any household goods relocation because no companies were allowed to move their people, and that's why our business has been pretty much at the bottom. However, very early in our in our understanding, when the COVID lockdown started off, we realized an opportunity to move computer assets of employees of various corporates, and that's one of the things we picked up pretty early in March and started getting all the government approvals to work during the COVID period. We did cover more than 250 corporates during that period, where we helped them, help their employees work from home. Some of the standard precautions that we were taking, we were having face masks, we were having face shields, we were maintaining social distancing while delivering each and every box. And that's why we could proudly say that we haven't had a single COVID case in our team, including the delivery team, which is again something unprecedented, because you have a touch point of almost like 300,000 people. So we didn't pressurize any employee of ours to come and work. What we did was we put this on the board, put this on a discussion table with each department, and whoever volunteered to work during that COVID period was only asked to come and work. And so we did almost like 40%, we were just 40% staff, then our routine staff members who went ahead and did this.
Right. And by and large, relocation is a very unorganized sector. It's also a very competitive segment. So give us a sense of how competitive is the market here today. You, of course, had the first mover advantage coming here into India over 20 years ago. What's the scenario like today? What are the key growth drivers? And how do you see the future shaping up in the next 5 to 6 years?
So if you look at the household goods business, we were the first ones to come into India and identify this opportunity. So I do foresee this to be a huge opportunity for the relocation industry. Unfortunately, our industry is not organized, as you rightly put across. There are a lot of fly-by-night operators who are here. Other than that, I think the entry-level barrier, which I think an entrepreneur thinks is as good as zero. So at times you have people who have a contact, a phone number, and possibly one connect, just start this business. without realizing the challenges of this business. And so we've seen a lot of people getting in and exiting out of it. We've been here for 20 years. We started it off as just an international moving company which was only doing international assignments. But we identified again very early that domestic moving is going to be huge.
Right, and you rightly mentioned that there are a lot of fly-by-night operators, there are a lot of dubious players out there. So from a consumer perspective, what are the do's and don'ts? What's a checklist that a consumer can put in place to choose the right relocation partner, especially when the consumer is a Fortune 500 client? It's a company that has a lot to lose in terms of physical assets as well as data assets when it's choosing a relocation partner.
So if you're looking at an employee move of a corporate that's happening, I think the most important thing which a corporate needs to look for is the background of that organization which they are impaneling. I think that's the most critical aspect. Now that would entail what kind of business volumes do we handle, what kind of references do we have, what's the kind of a turnover we have, what kind of an operations do we have in this market. And I think these are very primary things which are required. Other than that, I think we have global affiliations which are required to run a moving company, and I think that is very limited to possibly 10 or 12 players in India, and I think that's paramount important for anyone because if today you want to select a moving company, you should have those affiliations in place wherein those accreditations have been awarded to you after physical audits.
Right, and you have some coveted clients to your credit, from moving the assets of a company as big as TCS to moving the world's biggest biometric data center assets, the UIDAI's assets. What's been the biggest challenge as far as these Fortune 500 or bigger clients are concerned?
So I think the scalability and the size of volume becomes critical, along with the kind of the scope of work. So for example, when you talk of a UID kind of a project, it's highly critical, it's mission critical because it carries a country's data, right? You have to be 100% sure that you just cannot even have a 0.0001% of a miss in this. In this particular case, we had to actually go in to understand how a OEM packs the asset. Because remember, these are assets which are lying in open and being in use condition. Yeah. So if you don't do a OEM packing before moving that asset, you could have a challenge at the destination. So we understood that requirement and went in to learn the OEM packing before we got into this side of the business. Same happens with huge projects like TCS, where we moved around 26,000 employee assets within Mumbai.
Great, wonderful to hear that. Well, we are all talking about the new normal in a big way these days, the post-COVID-19 world. Some of it will go back to being how it used to be, and a lot of it is going to be very new to us. And perhaps consumer behavior has also shifted drastically. Health, hygiene, safety are becoming central focal points now, and that's unlikely to change in the long term as well. So, how does that impact your business? How does that shift your focus? And also, what are you putting your money on in the post-COVID-19 world? Are reverse logistics going to be big? What else are you expecting?
Right. So I think consumer behavior have been changing. So if you look at the present generation, they are not in a habit of possessing too many things and holding it so much. So you see a smaller size of shipments coming up, right? They don't want to carry and hoard, which possibly the next, a generation before them is doing. Yeah. So that has resulted in reduction of size of shipments. The other thing which has resulted now with this COVID pandemic, people don't want to see you in the house. And we've been very well prepared for that even before this whole thing happened, not knowing that this pandemic is going to impact us so badly. So we today have something called a video survey, right? So you're sitting at home, and if you're moving, you don't need to get one of our salesperson to come to your house for an estimation and do a survey and then quote. We could do it online with you. We have an app in place. It could be done online, and we can send out the proposal without even meeting you personally. So once the COVID thing gets over, I'm still sure that we would somewhere not be doing more than 30% physical surveys.
Absolutely. So tell us, what has the growth trajectory of the company been like for the last couple of years, and what are the number goals that you're chasing this year?
We are now a 125 crore company, and that's happened in the last 20 years. As far as growth goes, as our numbers for this year is concerned, well, our revenues are down from last year, but our profitability is up by around 42% in the last 5 months. We are a April to March company, and I think that's something which is the best thing that we could have asked for during COVID.
Right. And aside from numbers, on a personal note, you've been with the company for 19 years. It's been in India only for about 20 odd years, and 19 of those years you've been present at Interem Relocations. What's your personal journey been like, and what is your larger vision for the company?
So it's been an amazing journey. These 19 years are the most eventful as far as my career goes. So I started off as a sales manager with the company, and over a period of time have been doing the new roles that have been given to me, and today I run the business. As far as the growth for Interem is concerned, we have identified a couple of emerging markets where we intend to have our footprint. I wouldn't be able to give you those names, but we surely intend to be there in 2021. So our roadmap is already set. The groundwork for that has been done, because during COVID, we haven't taken a step back at all. So we've been very, very aggressive during this period, and very, very successful as well.
Okay, great. Good luck to you for that, Rahul. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. With that, let's take a short break right now. On the other side, we'll take you to Lucknow to explore a very popular milk and dairy products brand. Stay with us on Incredible Journeys, Brands and Leaders.